we start, we'll need baking tray. This one is a Swiss non-stick Swiss roll tray and it's 32 centimeters, so it looks like this. We'll also need a baking pan and baking beans, ceramic one. So those are 3 things we need before. Okay, for our pastry we'll need only 4 ingredients. We'll need 1 egg, 1 butter, unsalted butter. I always get that one, it's better quality butter. Then we've got some supreme sponge. It's really important because the cake will be nice and fluffy, so make sure you go for supreme sponge. And some icing sugar. That's all we need to make a pastry for our cake. Cassie gonna help me with the cake. Cassie gonna help me with the cake?
Yes.
Okay, sit down properly then. Cassie gonna help me with the cake, sitting nicely. Okay, we're gonna start with the flour. So we need 175 grams of supreme sponge flour. So we're gonna measure that straight in here. It's easy to make this cake with kids because they can help out and it's very easy to make. So they will have fun with you and spend more time, of course, which is important now. Okay, we have measured exactly 175 grams of flour and we've got a little bit of mess because my daughter is helping me out. Cassie, you helping out? Yes, okay. Now we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of icing sugar to our flour. I mean, Cassie will need 1 egg to put it in a bowl and beat up, so Cassie will do that for us. Do like hard and psh. Crack it. Hard. Już?
Yes.
Otwórz. Now beat 1 egg. I'm gonna add it to the mixture at the end. But first we're gonna add some butter. We're gonna add some butter first to the flour and then at the end egg, and we're done. Now we're gonna add 100 grams of butter to our flour, mix it up, add egg. Okay, we have added 100 grams of butter now, and we're gonna mix it up together with the hands. Or you can put it in because you're gonna mix it up now with the hands. Yeah, like grab and smash it together. Join it together. Yes? Done yet? No? This is how it should look. So Cassie, have fun. This is how our pastry looks. We're gonna add egg in a second. I mean, Cassie will.
Can we do it like that?
Put it in. Cassie added 1 egg and we're gonna mix it up. Put your hands in.
I wanna.
How are you gonna mix it? We're gonna mix the egg in and we're gonna form the pastry in a second. We've got our form in here and now we've got our pastry done. Cassie's finishing. Cassie finishing. And then we're gonna put it in here. So make sure it's all perfectly fitting. Now Cassie got the roll pin and she's gonna roll the pastry. As you can see, it's quite wet, so it's gonna be quite hard. And we're gonna roll the pastry and we're gonna use a fork to put bits so the air can go through, and we're gonna put it in the fridge for 30 minutes after it's done and fit it in a tin. Cassie, ready? Okay, do it. Cassie trying to roll it. I'll fix the rest and we'll put it in the fridge to chill for 30 minutes before putting it in the oven. Okay, our pastry is done. As you can see, it's fitting perfectly in the form, and now we're gonna do little holes with a fork and put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Okay, now we're gonna make holes with the fork, not too hard. As you can see, we're gonna start in here and go up, and we'll do it all the way. Okay, we made the holes in all of the pastry, as you can see in here, and we're gonna put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Okay, we've got our pastry from the fridge. Is nice and cold and firm, and we're gonna now need some paper. We're gonna put some baking paper on top, and we're gonna put our ceramic baking beans on top, so they are heavy. So what it will do is basically it will bake the pastry, but it's not gonna raise. So the beans gonna keep it down, and then we're gonna bake it for 15 minutes with the beans, and then we're gonna take it off and we're gonna bake it for another 5 minutes. Okay, now we've got our paper and ceramic beans. We're gonna bake that for 15 minutes in 180 degree, and then we're gonna take this all off and we're gonna bake it extra 5 minutes, extra 5 minutes 180. Okay, I'm gonna show you all the ingredients you will need for our filling, and we'll need 2 eggs, we'll need almond extract, We'll need some butter, we'll need some caster sugar, we'll need the jam, this one is the best, so we're gonna use a strawberry jam. We're gonna use some flaked almond on very top, Californian, really nice. This is just for a top. We'll need some almond ground, so we'll need some of them, and some plain flour. So those are ingredients for a filling, and this one is topping. So as you can see here, it's not many ingredients. Okay, we're gonna start with 100 grams of butter and 100 grams of caster sugar in a mixer, and we'll mix it. We're gonna do our filling, all of it in a mixer. Everything will be going in. It will be very simple, very easy. Okay, we've got 100 grams of butter and 100 grams of sugar. We're gonna mix everything together in a mixer until the sugar and our butter has to be nice and smooth like this. And then we're gonna add 2 eggs. Okay, our sugar and our butter is nicely done, nice and smooth. Now 2 eggs, 2 large eggs to our mixture. And we're gonna mix it together. Okay, our pastry was in the oven for 15 minutes, and now we took it out. We're gonna get rid of all this and bake for another 5 minutes. As you can see, it's nice and golden brown. Don't forget that our ceramic beans are hot because they're straight from the oven, so make sure to use a spoon to get rid of them. How our pastry looks like. We're gonna bake it for another 5 minutes without anything on top. We're gonna add 100 grams of ground almonds. We're gonna add some ground almond flour and mix. Okay, everything is mixed up. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of plain flour. We've got 1 tablespoon of plain flour here, and we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and we're gonna mix it. Okay, this is a pastry which is out and has been baked 20 minutes exactly, so 15 minutes with the ceramic beans and 5 extra without, so it should be flat as you can see in here, and it's got nice brown edges as you can see. So we're gonna cool it down, and then we're gonna add some jam on top. Okay, this is our almond filling, cake filling, already nice and smooth as you can see in here. When you're mixing it in a mixer, you need to make sure that you very often get rid of the edges. Put the edges with a knife and put them inside so they all nice mixed up everything. And we'll need a jam. I made a mistake because I bought a strawberry jam instead of a raspberry jam. So you need a good quality raspberry jam, only half of a jar. In today's video I'm gonna be mixing 2. I'm gonna use a plum one and a strawberry one. So either way it's not gonna be that sweet, so that's good. And we'll need about 20 grams, which is that amount of almond flakes on very top. So we're gonna put jam first, and then our filling, and then some flakes on top, and we're done. And we're gonna put the cake back in the oven. We're gonna put some jam in. I've got the rest of my strawberry jam. It's the same jam as the other one. It should be raspberry jam, so we're gonna put a thin layer of raspberry jam, and then we're gonna add some plum jam on top. So we need half of a jar. Okay, you should be using raspberry jam and plum jam, not a strawberry one, because strawberry one is too sweet. So we're gonna use a mixture, exactly the same as Mr. Kipling almond slices. This one is definitely using plum and raspberry jam, as you can see in here. So those exactly jams we'll be using today, and I would strongly recommend it because strawberry is definitely too sweet. Thin layer of jams, and I will show you. We don't want too thick layer of jam, but you want it to make sure it's all spread on the edges properly, as you can see in here. We're still gonna add the cake filling, but the jam, the plum one, definitely goes well with almond. It's incredible. So that's our jam on, and we're gonna add the filling. Okay, now we're gonna add our cake, almond cake filling, and on very top, spread it out, and I'm gonna bake for 20 minutes in the oven, and we'll be done. I'm nearly finished, but what I need to say is that you should be putting the topping, the top layer, cover over jam. As you can see in here, it's nicely covered, and you don't have any jam sticking out. So that's what you want, and you want it on a crust as well, so it's not dry out. And I'm just gonna finish now. We've got enough, just enough. Okay, and now our cake is done, and now we're gonna add some flakes on top, about 20 grams, and we're gonna pop to the oven about 18-20 minutes. Okay, all our cake is got flakes, almond flakes on top. I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 18-20 minutes for a golden brown. Okay, and this is our final results straight from the oven. So we're gonna let it cool down, and we're gonna cut it in the nice slices.